At the top of the hour, we told you about the daycare worker who is now facing a felony charge with a maximum of 10 years in prison. It all stems from the death of a 1-year-old boy last month.
It turns out a new Michigan statute could be a blessing in disguise in this tragic case. 24-hour News 8's Barton Dieters has our story from Muskegon.
The daycare center known as Keisha's Keepers is dark now, surrounded by caution tape warning of lead mitigation. Its license expires next week. Meanwhile, the woman whose name is on the business was behind bars, and now she awaits her day in court. The Muskegon County Prosecutor's Office has charged 49-year-old Keisha Michelle Collins with child neglect in the second degree for the April death of Corey Brown.
In my multiple conversations with the victim's family, it was my opinion that there was some criminal culpability on the part of the daycare provider.
Prosecutor says Collins, who was a licensed daycare provider, violated a number of licensing requirements when Corey died. That included sleeping while children were known to be awake, having too many children without help from another adult, and not providing proper sleep accommodations for the children.
Because of her neglect in following some of the licensing rules that are required for a daycare provider, that ended up in the result of the death of this young child.
On April 15th, Corey was discovered dead by his mother when she came to pick him up from daycare. She told me that night that she saw bruises and bite marks on the child's body and head. Police believe Corey was killed overnight as Collins was sleeping on the same floor as the kids. Investigations indicate Corey started crying while Collins was sleeping, which apparently led an 8-year-old girl who was also at the daycare to have, quote, contact with him. Collins turned herself in today and was booked into the county jail on $10,000 bond, waiting arraignment. She is charged with a 10-year felony.
It's a relatively new statute that was enacted in April of this year.
The new law stems from an incident in February 2015 where 3-month-old Cooper Fales died at a Kentwood daycare where the provider had violated numerous daycare rules but could not be criminally prosecuted.
If you're going to engage in this business, you have to do so at 110%. You have to make sure that you're following every single rule and that nothing is left to chance.
Meanwhile, investigators are waiting for evidence to come back from the Michigan State Police Lab before moving forward with this tragic case that may have been all too avoidable. In Muskegon, Barton Dieters, 24-hour News 8.